ગુડ મોર્નિંગ, જય શ્રી કૃષ્ણ, નમસ્કાર. ઇન્ડો અમેરિકન સિનિયર સિટીઝન સેન્ટર ઓફ ન્યુયોર્કના રજત જયંતિ વર્ષનો એટલે કે 2021નો આજે 37મો કાર્યક્રમ. અને આજની જેમ બે કાર્યક્રમો ગણતરીમાં લઈએ તો 55મો અને 56મો કાર્યક્રમ. આપ સૌ જાણતા હશો કે સિલ્વર જ્યુબિલી સેલિબ્રેશનના એન્ટાયર વર્ષના બેનિફેક્ટર બેંક ઓફ બરોડા છે, જેના યુએસ ઓપરેશન્સના સીઈઓ શ્રી બી ઇલાંગો અને લાયઝન વર્ક માટે શ્રી અશોકભાઈ શેઠનો આપણે આભાર માનીએ છીએ. આપણા સમગ્ર વર્ષ દરમિયાન આપણે વેલ્યુ બેઝ પ્રોગ્રામ અને મનોરંજનના પ્રોગ્રામ એ બંનેનું એક બેલેન્સ આપણે જાળવી શક્યા છીએ, એનો આનંદ છે. આજે પણ આવા બે કાર્યક્રમો છે કે જેમાં પૂર્વાર્ધ છે, જેમાં ઇન્ડિયા હોમના ડોક્ટર વસુંધરા કલસપુડી આપણને ખૂબ સુંદર માહિતી જે એમને એક મહિના પહેલા આપેલી, એના અનુસંધાનમાં જે કો હાઉસિંગ અને કો લિવિંગનો કન્સેપ્ટ ઇનોવેટિવ કન્સેપ્ટ છે, કેટલાક સિનિયરને ખૂબ જ ઉપયોગી થાય એવો કન્સેપ્ટ છે. એના ઉપર એના સર્વે અંગે થોડી માહિતી આપશે ને એના ફાઇનાન્શિયલ આસ્પેક્ટ એના ઉપર આપણને થોડી વધારે સમજ આપશે. આ એક સબ્જેક્ટ એવો છે કદાચ તમને ઉપયોગી ના થાય, પણ તમારા બીજા જાણીતા સિનિયરો જેને ખૂબ ઉપયોગી નીવડી શકે એવો હોય તો તમે એમની સાથે એ ઇન્ફોર્મેશન બધી શેર કરી શકો. તો આજે આ વાર્તાલાપ ઉપરાંત એ વાર્તાલાપ અને એ પછી પ્રશ્નો હોય તમે તો પ્રશ્નો પણ પૂછી શકો છો ડોક્ટર કલસપુડીના વક્તવ્ય પછી. એ પછી જો જે કાર્યક્રમ છે એ મનોરંજનનો કાર્યક્રમ છે, અને મનોરંજનના કાર્યક્રમ માટે એક મ્યુઝિકલ ટ્રીટ અને એના માટે પ્રીતિ ગજ્જર એ આપણને એન્ટરટેઇન કરશે બોલિવૂડના મ્યુઝિકથી, થોડા ગુજરાતી ગીતોથી. તો આજે આવા બે કાર્યક્રમોનું આયોજન થયું છે. આપણા દરરોજ એઝ યુઝ્યુઅલ જે આપણે કરીએ છીએ એમ આપણે શરૂઆત કરીશું પ્રાર્થનાથી. પ્રાર્થના પછી આપણા પ્રમુખ શ્રી મુકુંદભાઈ મહેતા સ્વાગત ઉદ્બોધન કરશે, અને એ પછી આ બે કાર્યક્રમો એક પછી એક આયોજિત થયા છે. આપણી પાસે જો વચ્ચે સમય હશે તો થોડા ઇન્ટરેસ્ટિંગ વિડીયો છે આપણી પાસે, એ વિડીયોની ક્લિપ્સ પણ બતાવીશું, જરૂરી થોડી ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ માહિતી આપીશું. તો ચાલો આજે ટેમ્પાથી હિંમતભાઈ અને હીરાબેન પારેખને રિક્વેસ્ટ કરીએ કે સોરી હિંમતભાઈ અને હંસાબેન પારેખ. ઓકે ઓકે હિંમતભાઈ.
સર્વે ભાવિક ભાઈઓ બહેનોને અમારા ભાવપૂર્વક જય શ્રી કૃષ્ણ. હે પ્રભુ આનંદદાતા ज्ञान हमको दीजिए, शीघ्र सारे दुर्गुणों को दूर हमसे कीजिए. हे प्रभु आनंददाता लीजिए हमको शरण में, हम सदाचारी बने. लीजिए हमको शरण में, हम सदाचारी बने. शांति चाहक धर्म रक्षक वीर व्रतधारी बने. हे प्रभु आनंददाता प्रेम से हम गुरुजनों की नित्य ही सेवा करें. प्रेम से हम गुरुजनों की नित्य ही सेवा करे. सत्य बोले झूठ जागे मेल आपस में करे। हे प्रभु आनंद दाता, निंदा किसी की हम किसी से भूल कर भी ना करें। निंदा किसी की हम किसी से भूल कर भी ना करें। दिव्य जीवन हो हमारा, तेरा यश गाया करे। हे प्रभु आनंद दाता, हे प्रभु आनंद दाता, हे प्रभु आनंद दाता। सर्वेने जय श्री कृष्ण, खूब खूब आभार।
થેન્ક યુ હિંમતભાઈ અને હંસાબેન. અને હવે રિક્વેસ્ટ કરીએ આપણા પ્રમુખ શ્રી મુકુંદભાઈ મહેતાને કે આજના કાર્યક્રમની શરૂઆત એમના સ્વાગત ઉદ્બોધનથી કરે. મુકુંદભાઈ.
Thank you, Pankajbhai, and thank you, Himmatbhai and Hansaben, for a very pretty prayer. For information of all of you, Himmatbhai is a very active social worker in Tampa. He has been there for quite some time, and he has been the past president of Tampa Gujarati Samaj. So thank you, Himmatbhai. Today, good morning, friends, and welcome to Indo-American Senior Citizen Center of New York's weekly Thursday meeting. I hope all of you are doing fine. And also, even though the coronavirus is getting tamed down, but we have to be very careful throughout, because it is said that the Indian variant has spread to 30 different countries and it has come to US also. So we have to be just safeguard ourselves. Today we have interesting lecture from Dr. Vasundhara Kalasapudi, Executive Director of India Home. You may recall that a few weeks back, she had given a very innovative and excellent concept of co-housing and co-living. And today is a further extension to that one, including the financial aspect of the projects. And also she will go over the questionnaire which was sent to all of you for the last couple of reports about the housing survey. And if you have any question, please feel free to ask her, and she will answer the questions. And thereafter, we have a very interesting and entertaining musical program. In between, there may be some few videos also. Now, Dr. Kalasapudi, first of all, who doesn't know her? I don't have to introduce, but as a protocol, I have to. She has been known not only in our Indian circle, but in government circles also, because of her great work with India Home. She has been very busy doing all the activities for the seniors. Even though I had given her a profile last time, but there are always some new people joining, so I will very briefly give Dr. Kalaspady's profile. Dr. Kalasapudi is a geriatric psychiatrist and executive director of India Home. After graduating from Andhra Medical College, Vasundhara did research at El Hospital Cochin in Paris and the Albert Einstein College of Medicine. She trained in psychiatry at Brookdale University Hospital and in geriatric psychiatry at Long Island Jewish Medical Center. Currently, she works in Queens and Brooklyn in a variety of psychiatric settings to provide care for developmentally disabled and other vulnerable populations. Vasundhara was moved to start India Home when she could not find culturally appropriate medical services for her aging parents. So this is the question of how the necessity is the mother of invention. It is like that. India Home is a pioneering non-profit serving vulnerable South Asian seniors in New York City since 2008 through culturally appropriate senior centers, case management, recreational activities, and advocacy efforts. Currently, India Home serves 200 individual seniors per week. With long goals of affordable senior housing, nursing homes, palliative care, and more, India Home strives to provide accessible senior services for South Asians in New York City. She won many awards for the pioneering work of culturally sensitive senior care. India Home's Executive Director, Dr. Vasundhara Kalasapudi, was named one of this year's top influencer in aging by Next Avenue PBS 2017. So you know about the activities done by Dr. Kalaspati over a period of time, and we are fortunate that she is spending her valuable time with us today. So without much ado, I will request Dr. Vasundhara Kalaspati to take the stage and start her lecture.
Hello. Can you hear me, Mukunji?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Because I'm joining from the hospital, so.
Can you lower your camera, please?
Yeah. Serenia, can you share the screen, please?
Yes, I already made a co-host.
Thank you for the nice introduction, Mukunji.
You deserve much more than that, but this was just a tip of the iceberg.
Hello. Mukunji, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Now, Sharanya is going to share the screen.
Yes, yes.
But Niranjan Bhai or Jagdish Bhai, she has, okay, she is here. Unmute yourself, Sharanya.
Hi, I'm unable to screen share. It says that the host disabled. Okay,
No,
now I'm able.
Okay, now you may be
I made
co-host.
co-host.
I think I should be able to now.
Yeah. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity, Mukunji and the Indo-American Senior Citizen Board members. Today, we are going to talk about the social impact investment so that India Home Housing Project can be realized. Serenia, can you go to the next slide, please? So as most of you know, India Home has established in 2007 and with an idea of providing the culturally sensitive, social, psychological, recreational, spiritual services with a cultural sensitive environment as an emphasis. Serena, next slide, please. And of course, right now, our vision is to develop a equitable housing so that it should be innovative, affordable, and culturally sensitive housing. And to foster, it should help seniors to have social connections and mutual support. And ideally, it should provide healthy aging for the seniors to age in place. And if you see the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, there are so many things like no poverty should be there and hunger should not be there, and to provide good health and well-being and education, gender equity, and clean water and sanitation. And you can see there are many, many things, improving the jobs and improving the climate actions. So all over the world, actually, people are investing into this to achieve the sustainable goals in the world. Next slide, please. So how people invest traditionally for all these not-for-profits is to giving the impact notes. Like, for example, Colbert Foundation, they actually issue impact notes where people can buy those notes, whether it is $100 or $1,000, and you get some investment, you get some interest for that. And in turn, Colbert Foundation or Lisk Foundation or Enterprise, though all of them are not-for-profits, they invest into housing, and they also invest into healthy aging and affordable housing and job creation and those things. So that way, people actually can help the community with their investments. In a way, India Home actually, when we started India Home in 2007, the gentleman, Mr. Dama Venkaya, who registered India Home as a not-for-profit, he actually advised it's better if you take some loans from the community, just like how temples, they take loans from the community to construct the temples. So we did take about $100,000 as loans. Out of that, community members and board members who gave a loan to India Home, they were so impressed with the India Home work. In about 4 or 5 years, they converted their loans as donations. Almost 40,000 out of 100,000, 40,000 was converted as donation to India Home, and the 60,000 we paid back. We did not really make any legal formal agreement of a note, but we wrote on an India Home letterhead saying that it is our personal guarantee, it's my personal guarantee to pay back the loan to them. And of course, they were in the beginning of organization, most of the community members so impressed with the work, they gave like 0% loans. We paid back 60,000 to them, and 40,000 was converted as donations. That's how India Home was started. And that was the investment which community made, which helped India Home to grow to this stage. Next slide, please, Serena. So the social impact investment, there are many models. One is a shared equity model, and the other one is, most of you know this model, real estate syndications, where you know, a few of your friends, like 4 or 5 people together buying apartment buildings or any kind of real estate investment. That's called real estate syndication. And also real estate investment trusts are also there, which is a, where maybe 100 people or 200 people will put in small investments to buy the real estate investment trusts. Next slide. So shared equity model is essentially, it's a very interesting, it's one of the old models. Actually, we all do it. If you remember, most of you, I'm sure, you must have helped your daughters and sons when they settle down in life by giving them down money for their down payment, right? When they're buying their first house, they might have like maybe 20,000 or 50,000, but they might need extra 50,000. So you might have helped them. So what people do is they give, there are companies actually, there are 4 or 5 companies and a bank also in Philadelphia. They give this investment for the real estate investment as a shared equity model. And then they also make sure like they get their investment back, and as well as some profit out of that when the house is appreciated in the next 10 years or 15 years, they actually take a part of that portion also. And if the house loses some value, because real estate market, sometimes it crashes down, right? They also take part of, losing the value also. So this is like one of the models which was done by Unison, one of the online companies. What happens when the house appreciates, how much they get in turn. Like, for example, if the house's purchase value is 500,000 and 20% down payment, you may have only, the person may have 50,000. The company will invest another 50,000. That means 20,000, 100,000 they would invest, which is 20% of the house value. And the sharing of the profit is, the company will take, let's say after 10 years, you sell the house, and they will take 33%, and you will get 67%. And in this 10 years, you don't have to pay interest, or you don't have to pay anything other than giving them a document saying that, yes, you are going to share the property, share the appraisal, profit in the property. For example, if there is an increased value of 100,000, you get 67,000, Unison will get 33,000. That means actually Unison will get actually total 83,000, because they gave 50,000 as an investment and 33,000 as a profit they will increase. If the house decreases in value, of course, they get only 60, Unison will lose some money also, because, the house, you're also losing money, and Unison also will lose the money. So they get 17,000 Unison, and you will get 68,000. But, in New York, most of the things are actually real estate always, especially in New York City, appreciates. Of course, there is an occasion where, in 2008, I think the market crashed down, and, properties in Long Island and some areas were affected, but mostly they get priced better. And if somebody doesn't want to keep this 50,000 as a, for 10 years or 20 years till you sell the house, they also have a mechanism where you can calculate an interest and pay it back within 3 years or 4 years. In fact, to tell you the personal example, when we bought our first house in almost 2000, I would say in 2009 or 8, when we bought our first house, not in 2008, 1997. So that is before the hardware, before the software boom. One of our friends, actually a community members, he gave us loan, to help us with our down payment. That actually helped us to buy our first home, and which increased in value. Of course, we paid the loan back to him, because he knows us for many years and we know him and he has confidence in us. We wrote a simple personal document and gave it to him. But that helped us to build wealth in this country, because the first house we bought with his help, and later we bought another house in Long Island and constructed our own home, and then another home in Queens. So without the first house help, I don't think we could have reached this position, because the gentleman helped us by helping us with the down payment. That helped us a lot. So next slide, Sharanya. So these are the different companies. For example, shared equity companies, Unison is number 1, and Point, HomeTap, Nova, these are all online companies actually. They actually assess your property and everything, and they give the loans. And there is a bank in Pennsylvania, which is called JVB Bank in Pennsylvania. They also do this shared equity model. And Serenia, how it works, you can actually see in Unison. Can you hear?
No, we can't hear.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Let me try to share it with the sound. 1 second.
Whether you're buying for the first time
Can you
or
hear now?
looking to upgrade,
Yes.
you just have
Yes.
to change your mindset from going alone to going in unison. Thus our name and our mission. With Unison Home Buyer, we give you cash for your down payment in exchange for a percentage share in your home's future appreciation. Don't think loan, don't think debt. There is no interest or monthly payments. We call it a home co-investment. We simply help you get to a 20% down payment, increasing your options and getting you a better deal. For example, let's say you have $50,000 for a down payment. We can double that with an additional $50,000 home co-investment. Now you have a $100,000 down payment on a $500,000 home. Pretty simple, right? Let's talk about what happens when you sell your home. Again, we're partners. We're both invested. So we share in the change in value of your home. Even if your home depreciates, we actually take the hit alongside you. That's what we mean by a partnership. We're genuinely with you through the ups and the downs. It's like all of a sudden you have a rich uncle, but only better because we're business partners and you don't have to see us at Thanksgiving. So let's say you want to do this. To get started, you work with one of our partners and get approved for a mortgage that works for you. Then shop for your dream home. We'll be with you every step of the way. Just continue to pay your mortgage, taxes, and insurance, and take care of it as you normally would. We've helped make it possible for thousands of people to turn their dreams into reality. And now you can too, because everything is better when you do it in unison.
We can go to the next slide, Serena.
Okay.
Yeah. So the shared equity model is exactly, if you see these pictures, we are not talking about equality, because if we give the equality, if we give the bump to everybody, it's not going to help this little guy who is a poor guy here. Whereas in the equity model, you can see, like for example, the last guy, if we put 2 stepstones for him, he can actually reach and see the place. So That's what government does in New York City or across America. What they do is actually they try to help the people who would meet certain criteria to be a first-time home buyer in the city or Long Island, and they would give 40,000 as a down payment. But at the same time, they would want something from the owner, from the person who is buying the house also. They have to put some down payment also. Most of the people, believe it or not, they have money to pay the rent, like 2,000 or 3,000, something like that. But they don't have enough savings to put that as a down payment for to get this program, first time home buyer program. I myself personally, I know a friend of mine who has been working as a technician in a hospital. She has been paying rent for the past, whatever, 15, 20 years, but she would never able to accumulate enough money because of her, she's a single mom and she has her kids going to medical school and all. She could never accumulate enough money to put the down payment. That's where the shared equity model, where as a community, those who can afford us, we can help them by giving some help so that they can meet the down payment requirement. It could be a $10,000 down payment, but still it's a lot of money for some people, especially when they have future potential. Like some of the young people, they have the future potential of getting their job and to make a good living, making a good salary and all. But they don't have, right now, they don't have enough money to put the down payment to meet the requirement where they can get the 40,000 from the government. So this is where I feel like, we maybe the shared equity model as a community, we can help some of the families where they can help us. And families need not be young people. It can be like, some of the seniors who might have worked all their life for about maybe, but they never owned a home. So that could be also a possibility is there. Next slide, Serenia. The shared equity model, believe it or not, now we were thinking about it, we were discussing informally with our board members here and there. And then next, New York City Department of Housing Preservation and Development actually released a request for information. What they wanted to find out from the communities and from the private businesses to see whether we can come up with an idea to tell the government how our community is interested in this shared equity, so that there are investors from our community. There are people who would need this help, and how they can become homeowners, or maybe they can develop a business or anything. It can be done by community organizations like India Home, or it can be done by banks and lenders or private for-profit organizations. And it can be done by affordable housing developers, cooperatives and all. So many social enterprises also can be done, or community development corporations can put this proposal to the government. And the idea is to include promoting the racial and social justice and long-term affordability of housing and community assets. All these things it's like our own community is investing money to help our own community members. That's what, and essentially in one line. So we are planning to, the deadline is coming next month. So we are planning to propose a proposal to the government if there are enough investors to believe in this cause and to invest some money into this. Serenia, next slide, please. Coming to the real estate syndications. If you remember, the most famous syndication deal was the Empire State Building. It was, believe it or not, it's a $65 million building in those days, but nobody ever would put as one person. It is Helmsley people and Wayne's son-in-law and their lawyers and all. They raised 33 million from more than 3,000 people. That means each person put in 10,000, right? Let's say if we want to buy something for $1 million, instead of one person putting million, if 100 people putting 10,000, you can believe that. It's not a pain also, because it's distributed, everybody is coming together as a thing. The syndications will be with general corporations or LLCs, or these are all legal aspects. I'm not going to too many details about the legal aspects because we have lawyers, we have tax consultants to take care of all these things. Next slide, Serena. For example, in simple term, general partner, syndicator, or operator is the main person who would request. Like, for example, India Home wants to develop housing. Then India Home can be a general partner or syndicator with the help of lawyers, with the help of tax persons, and create this syndication. And because essentially their job is to find a property to develop the housing, whether, some with the community investment, some with the government, and at the same time managing the property, also having the seniors and providing services. Whereas limited partner is like, for example, there are a lot of, especially because I'm a physician, I know a lot of physicians, they're interested in investing for community, but they don't have time to look for what is good, what is bad, what is a reliable project or not. So those people, they don't have time, they don't have enough time to either acquire, renovate, manage the properties. And they also may not have enough, like millions of dollars to invest into one project on their own. So if everybody puts in small amount of money, that means they're like passive partners. The limited partners are passive partners, and they get, according to whatever regulations are there, they get their interest or return back on that. Next slide, Serena. And the REITs is another biggest thing is coming up, real estate investment trust. There are so many companies, online companies, because the REITs are many varieties. Equity REITs could be there, mortgage REITs or hybrid REITs. And some of the REITs are publicly traded like stock exchange, and some are non-traded. And some, of course, are private, totally private REITs. And in fact, in senior housing, if you see, in senior housing properties trust, they put in $2.1 billion. There are many, even long-term care facilities, nursing homes, assisted living facilities, CCRCs. There are so many REITs are in, doing that. So in REITs, it's much more, many more people, like hundreds of people investing into REITs. I'm not a financial person or a legal person. So, but these are all the things what other people are doing. That's what we need to learn from. And of course, we have to take the help of legal people as well as financial people. And we should go into what other people are doing. That's what we are planning to do. Next slide, please, Serena. And I always believe Margaret Mead saying, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever changed. Believe it or not, when India Home started, it's a very small, maybe 4 or 5 people said, like, as I explained to you in the past, it is a story of 3 daughters and 3 families and their friends. So a few people come together and said, yes, this is what we need to do. We are committed, we should do that. So I know for sure people, when they want to invest, even if it is whether it is a small amount, $1,000 or $10,000 or $100,000, they want to invest in a good cause, definitely. Like, for example, if somebody asks me to invest in a company which makes, let's say, on the firearms, or maybe guns, or maybe drugs, illicit drugs like cocaine and all, I would not invest in those companies, even if I get 50%, even if I double the money in 1 year, I won't invest, because that's against my philosophy. That's against my principles. Whereas if somebody says, yes, there is a housing project for seniors, or housing project for, some helping the community, I have no problem investing, even if I get like 5% interest, or even if I get very nominal things, or even if I get my money back for guarantee, that's enough for me. So it is where the community has to commit to the cause and then develop this. Serenia, next one. I hope all of you are convinced about this senior housing, and hopefully I would request, Kavita is sharing the document about the why it is important to fill the housing survey, Because even if you are not interested in, you don't need housing because you have a housing already, you are living with your family or anything, but you need to, important thing to complete it so that we can tell government these are different things. And in the housing survey also, you can actually write if you are interested in investing into senior housing, even if you don't want to live there. Like already we have 3 or 4 people express their interest in the survey saying that they are interested in investing. So I would really appreciate all of you to take time and take the survey. Thank you. If there are any questions, we can just maybe 5-10 minutes.
Dr. K, before you go to the survey, just one thing, if you want to explain that those who have a little amount of investment only for down payment, they can undergo a course and get a credit for that. And that will help towards the down payment.
Yeah, there are organizations called Chaya CDC and some more other organizations where actually they provide 8-hour course. The government has a requirement. The people who are interested in buying the house, they have to complete the course and then get a certificate from the organization saying that yes, these people, they know what it is, what this is from the what are the involvement on their part. That's what they do that. That course is must. Everybody has to complete the course, 8-hour course.
And how much money they get?
They get 40,000 if they meet the income criteria. Like for example, if let's say in one area in Queens, the median average income is 60,000. Let's take that as an example. But they have to make 80% of it. It should be below 80%. That means they should be making maybe 45,000 or something like that. So that way they will be eligible for that program.
And that amount will be as by way of a loan or a partial grant?
Yeah,
or
the grant they will get from government, the 40,000. But if they need 10,000 or 20,000 as a loan, in the just like how we thought about the shared equity model, that kind of documents we would prepare with our legal people, and then we tell them this is the thing, we are investing into this, we are giving this down payment for you, but when you sell this house within 10 years or whatever it is, you can give the profit out of it, or within 3 to 5 years, if you want to clear the loan, this is the interest rate and this is what you need to pay. So those are all legally, they will be documented.
So up to 40,000 they get is by way of a loan, which otherwise they could not.
40,000 is from the government they get.
It's a grant,
It's
total
a
grant.
total grant, yes. But they
It's a free
still
money.
need to have another 10,000 or 20,000 depending on what house they are buying. They have to put some down payment also.
Okay, so if somebody is required to pay 50,000 as a down payment but has only 10,000, one can go through this course, complete 8 hours of a study,
Yes,
and then comply with it.
right.
That's a great program. Yeah.
It is and a lot of organizations are helping their community members to arrange this. Like for example, before COVID, actually, 3 of our seniors, one couple and one single senior, they completed this course. They were almost about to buy an apartment, condo or co-op. Unfortunately, the COVID came and everything got messed up. They did not, but because they have to finish the buying within 6 months time. Otherwise, they have to take again another course.
It's a very helpful course.
Yeah, yeah.
Like last time, can Kavita explain in Gujarati what Dr. K mentioned for benefit of some of our members?
Yeah, before that, can I, there is one question came in the chat, which is about what is the difference between this and And what is the difference between this and the other one is from the Florida developments, right? Florida developments and all other places, as far as I know, they're actually taking investment from community. I don't think they are taking any help from the government. Whereas when India Home is planning to develop housing in New York and Long Island areas, we wanted to take government help also. Like, for example, if somebody, just now we explained, if somebody is eligible for 40,000 as a grant, right? We would help them to hook up with the, where they can get the course and whether their income meets the criteria for that government regulations and where they can afford the house. And if they need a little bit of help from the community as a loan, we would try to arrange that also. So it is a different, the difference of India Home and all other organizations. We also want community investment into this, but we want to take city government, state government, federal government, all the government help, whatever is available. That's the difference.
Thank you.
હું ટ્રાન્સલેટ કરી શકું છું પણ મને ડોક્ટર કે ની જરા વધારે મદદ જોશે. ડોક્ટર કે I'm going to need your help because I am not as well versed in this topic as the so you know the basic idea. Mukunji, tamne vadhare agar you know this concept, so because
I think generally if I would just summarize, I think Dr. K. Kalasapudi is known as Dr. K in the circle. Dr. K explained very well કે જે પ્રમાણે હાઉસિંગ માટે આ પ્રયત્ન કરવાના છે એના માટે ખાસ કરીને શેર્ડ ઇક્વિટી ઇઝ અ વેરી વેરી ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ ટોપિક બીકોઝ શેર્ડ ઇક્વિટીમાં તમારી પાસે પૂરા પૈસા ન હોય કોઈની પાસે ડાઉન પેમેન્ટ તો આ જે 4-5 યુનિસન અને બીજી જે ઇન્સ્ટિટ્યુશન નામ બતાવ્યા એ લોકો 50% they contribute themselves. So that what happens is that 50,000 નું ઘર જોતું અને ખાલી ડાઉન પેમેન્ટ જોતું ને ખાલી 25,000 જોઈએ આપણી પાસે તો 25,000 એ લોકો સાથે રોકે. Then they become a partner in the progress. કે ચલો એપ્રિસિએશન થાય ને 10 વર્ષ પછી વેચું, then you get appreciation even though you invested only 50% amount to start with, which otherwise you would not have even ventured to go into it. એટલે આખો શેર્ડ ઇક્વિટીનો પ્રિન્સિપલ બહુ જ ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ છે કે જેથી કરીને ઓછું જેને ડાઉન પેમેન્ટ કરવું હોય, વેધર ઇટ્સ યંગ પીપલ કે સિનિયર્સ હોય, કોઈ પણ હોઈ શકે છે, તો એને પૂરતો લાભ મળી શકશે. અને that's a very good concept. અને બીજું આની અંદર ડોક્ટર કે સમજાવ્યું કે આપણે આમાં ભાવના એવી હોવી જોઈએ કે ચલો ભાઈ આપણી કમ્યુનિટી આગળ આવે, કે ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ એના પર તમારે ખૂબ જોતું હોય તો એમને કહ્યું કે તમે ડ્રગ કંપનીમાં કે એવા ઇલિસિટ ધંધામાં પણ રોકી શકો છો અને પૈસા તમારા ડબલ થાય. પરંતુ જેને પોતાના કમ્યુનિટી માટે કંઈ કરી છૂટવું છે એટલા માટે કમ્યુનિટીના માણસો જ આમાં ઇન્વેસ્ટમેન્ટ કરે અને કમ્યુનિટીના લોકોને જ આનાથી ફાયદો થાય એવી રીતનો આખો આ પ્રોજેક્ટ છે. અને એક વખત આ શરૂ થયું પછી ગવર્મેન્ટની ગ્રાન્ટ મળે અને એમાંથી પછી આગળ ડેવલપમેન્ટ એમાં શું છે ખાલી ઇન્વેસ્ટરો જ પોતે આવતા હોય છે. પરંતુ આની અંદર જે ડોક્ટર કે સમજાવ્યું એ પ્રમાણે આમાં કમ્યુનિટી ઇન્વેસ્ટમેન્ટ થાય પછી એને લગતા જે કંઈ કાયદાની અનુસાર જાત જાતની ફેડરલ સ્ટેટ સિટીની જે કંઈ ગ્રાન્ટ્સ કે લોન મળી શકે એનો લાભ મળી શકે એવું છે. એટલે ધીસ ઇઝ એન એક્સલન્ટ આઈડિયા કે આપણે કમ્યુનિટી માટે કંઈ કરવું હોય તો ધીસ ઇઝ અ સોશિયલ ઇન્વેસ્ટિંગ કે જેમાં આપણને આત્મસંતોષ થાય કે આપણે કંઈ જિંદગીમાં કંઈ કરી છૂટ્યા છીએ. એ ભાવના હોય તો આ સારામાં સારો પ્રોજેક્ટ છે, વિચાર કરજો. અને જે પ્રમાણે કહ્યું કે જેની પાસે ઇન્કમ રિક્વાયરમેન્ટ ફૂલફિલ થતી હોય એ લોકો આ કોર્સ કરે તો એને 40% તો સરકાર ગ્રાન્ટ આપે. 8 કલાકનો કોર્સ કરી સર્ટિફિકેશન મેળવી અને ઇન્કમ રિક્વાયરમેન્ટ જો ફિટ થતી હોય તો એને માટે ઇન્ડિયા હોમે ઘણી પ્રગતિ કરી છે, ઘણી ઇન્ક્વાયરી કરી છે અને લોકોને મદદ કરે છે. તો ઇન શોર્ટ ધીસ ઇઝ જસ્ટ અ બેઝિક આઈડિયા ઓફ શેર્ડ ઇક્વિટી અને કેવી રીતે ઓછા પૈસામાં પણ તમે યુ કેન હેવ અ હાઉસ એટ ધ સેમ ટાઈમ તમે તમારી સદભાવના હોય કે ચલો ભાઈ આપણે કમ્યુનિટી માટે કંઈ કરી છૂટવું છે તો પછી 5,000 હોય કે $10,000 કે $20,000 જેટલા પોતાની શક્તિ પ્રમાણે આમાં રોકવાના હોય છે અને એ પ્રમાણે પછી કમ્યુનિટીને આપણે હેલ્પફુલ થઈ શકે છે. એ આખો ટોપિકનો ઈરાદો છે. બીજા કોઈને સવાલ હોય તો ચોક્કસ સવાલ પૂછજો, નહીં તો પછી હમણાં કવિતા શાહ કે જે વેરી એક્ટિવ member of this India Home and keeps every senior citizen very busy Monday through Friday with various activities, and she handles very well, I tell you. And also we had seen Sarinya. Oh, she is behind the curtain and she is doing an excellent job. So we are proud that in India Home we have about 7 employees. I should not say employees, they are the partners in progress. And they are very, very helpful. They consider India Home as their own home and work with all the dedication. So we are proud of it, and good luck. Thank you.
Mohanji.
Thank you, sir.
In fact, the reason why India Home is going to this level, because we have a leader like Mukunji as a president with financial background and legal background, which is a very rare thing to have.
In fact, I'm learning only.
And also somebody raised the hand, Suha.
Hemant and Subna Ben.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Saroj also raised her hand. Dr. Saroj.
Okay, Hemant bhai, unmute karo. Unmute.
Yeah, Mukund bhai, you told 2 different things. One is a low income. This must be for the low income people, like who wants to stay there. And you talk of something else of investment of the thing. So one is anybody who is not a low income group can invest in this one, but may not stay in this. And the other thing is only the people who are low income group, they can stay, but the other people who invest, they will not stay in this community. Am I right?
That is correct, because this is a social investing. So for example, some doctors have extra money. They may just invest in these social projects. They may not live there, but it is helpful to the community.
One more thing, Hemanji. Initially, we are asking for the investment into affordable housing and all, but at the same time, there is some other concepts of housing called, for example, supportive housing, right? When somebody needs a little bit of help with the shopping, maybe cooking and cleaning and all those things, those can be paid privately. People can afford, say that, yes, I live here and I get all the services. Just like last time, how I explained about the co-housing developments and all. Everybody needs housing in a different way. Some people, for example, one of the bad things in this country, as a physician, I can tell you, once you get into a stage where you need assisted living or a nursing home, almost they say either you pay off all, you give us your home completely so that your nursing home or assisted living facilities can be taken care. Whereas in my opinion, that should not be the case. And if we develop something like a CCRCs, where CCRC means continuum care retirement communities, where you have independent housing, you have assisted living, and also a collaboration with a nursing home. For example, Dr. Sarusha and all of you are have a collaboration with nursing home, right? PART-1-LECTURE. So if we develop assisted living and housing, that should be fine.
Yeah, but excuse me, can I say something?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, last time you talked about the high-riser building and the community in the Long Island where you going to purchase the land and stay where, if I don't want to stay in with the low-income group people, I want to stay with the middle-class income group people. What about, last time I think you were talking about those type of things, because I am not a Medicaid person, so I may not be interested in what you are suggesting, like India Home, serving for, you are not serving the other people other than the Medicaid people.
No, sir. So far,
where we have to go.
Yeah. Let me explain one more thing, sir. So far, for your information, India Home did not, in the senior center services also, it's not a social adult day program. It is completely senior center where people can come and enjoy all the services what we provide for free. And of course, we get government funding into the expenses to meet the expenses. But at the same time, our intention is not just about Medicaid people. For example, when I get retired, I won't be eligible for Medicaid. I know for sure. But I know for sure I need these services. not only me, all of us, we need the services. So that is where India Home is trying to see if we can develop some of the things, housing, or not just for Medicaid people, for anybody, whether it is assisted living or whether it is a supportive housing, and where there is a help from the government also. The government does not look saying that, oh yeah, you are developing only for Medicaid people. Maybe they give money a little bit more for Medicaid people because they are poor, but at the same time, they also give money for supportive housing people. Some people are having mid-range income, where they don't have a lot of money, but at the same time, they are not poor enough to qualify for Medicaid. Then they need the services. So our idea is, whether you are rich or poor, whether you have Medicaid or Medicare, or you don't have any insurance, how can we serve our community? We should be able to serve. And I always believe in, you figure out many things, you learn many things, and where you can always, put together the services together to meet everybody's need. It may not be immediately. I'm not saying tomorrow we are going to develop maybe $20 million project, maybe $5 million project, or maybe $10 million project, or maybe a couple of $1 million projects. We'll go one step at a time. Like, for example, in Queens, we applied for a housing grant, which is like 16 million project. We asked 3 million from the government. We don't know how much they will get. But that is not limited to Medicaid people. That housing is people can come and live there also. So our idea is, whatever facilities are there, whatever possibilities are there, we are exploring everything and anything. So it's not related to Medicaid alone, sir. That much I can tell. Medicaid is, yes, we do serve that population, but we are also interested in developing housing for everybody to meet everyone's need.
And that is why હેમંતભાઈ એટલા માટે તે પેલું આપણે હાઉસિંગ સર્વે મગાવ્યો છે કે જેથી કરીને લાઇક માઇન્ડેડ પીપલ કે લાઇક ઇન્કમ લેવલના માણસોની સાથે ભેગા કરીને એનું એક ગ્રુપ બનાવીને એમાંથી કોઈ પ્રોજેક્ટ તૈયાર કરે કે જેથી કરીને એ લોકો પોતાના માઇન્ડસેટ પ્રમાણે ફાઇનાન્શિયલ કેપેસિટી પ્રમાણે સૌ સાથે હળીમળીને રહી શકે અને બીજી મદદ કોમન શેરમાં કરી શકે.
મુકુંદભાઈ, પણ મારે અત્યારે ધારો કે મારે ઇન્ડિયામાં જવું હોય તો હું જઈ શકું? મને ટ્રાન્સપોર્ટેશન એ લોકો આપે? આઈ એમ નોટ અ મેડિકેડ પર્સન, આઈ એમ અ મિડલ ઇન્કમ ગ્રુપ પર્સન. તો અત્યારે અપાર્ટ ફ્રોમ ધીસ ક્વેશ્ચન, ઇન્ડિયા હોમ ઇઝ ઓનલી ફોર ધોઝ પીપલ, નોટ લાઈક મી ઓર લાઈક અ મિડલ ક્લાસ પર્સન. મારે ઇન્ડિયા હોમમાં જવું હોય તો મને ટ્રાન્સપોર્ટેશન આપે ને મને લઈ જાય એ લોકો?
Now, India Home is a name as a home, but the India Home serves the seniors by conducting various senior related activities. So it is just like our association, where the seniors come Monday through Friday, enjoy different programs and take benefit of it. એ કોઈ જાતનું નર્સિંગ હોમ કે એસિસ્ટેડ ફેસિલિટી કે એવું ઇન્ડિયા હોમ નથી. એ તો જાતના આવા સોશિયલ વર્ક કરીને લોકોને મદદ કરે છે.
Yeah, so I was in the wrong impression.
Yeah, it's not an assisted living home or a nursing home or anything like that. આ જાતના બધા પ્રોજેક્ટો લોકોની પાસે રજૂ કરી અને કેમ કમ્યુનિટીને ફાયદો થાય એ ઇન્ડિયા હોમનું કામ છે. થેન્ક યુ. સરોજબેન અને ઇન્દ્રવદનભાઈ.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. K, Dr. Vasundhara, to give us very enlightening talk. And I just wanted to find out that the Queen's project that we are doing, yeah, you told us about so many things doing at the same time. But what I want to just go down to the one that we are doing, India Home is doing in Queens. Where are we and what are our plans and how much money we need in order to get that grant?
Okay, it's a good question. We just applied the grant for $3 million. And so we don't know, maybe June ending or July first week, we get to know exactly how much money they allotted for that project. That is for acquisition of the land alone. The land is about 5,000 square feet or something with an R6 zoning, and where we are trying to develop about 40 units, 30 of studios and 10 of one bedrooms. That might change because, it has to fit in the government project. And next year, we are planning to apply one more grant also for the same project. About that project, as a community investment, we haven't figured out how much we need to put in as a community investment so far, because AFI, Asian Americans for Equality, which is a big Chinese not-for-profit organization, they are our developers, because India Home does not have experience in developing. So that they are coming in. So hopefully, once we know how much money government gave us, we can finalize the details about how much community has to invest into that. And before even that, we are planning to, as I explained to you in my last talk, we are planning to develop something like a co-living and co-housing for seniors, right? As a first co-living project, we identified, a couple of properties, 2 land pieces and 1 home. So which is, around $1 million. So that means we have to put 20% of it, which is like, about $250,000, let's say $250,000. That much we have to, put in as a community investment into that. That is definitely it's with against the land or against the house. So definitely that's what we are looking to. Before this year ending, we want to develop 1 co-living house, which need at least $250,000. I'm strongly believe $250,000 is not a big deal really for us. What we need is about maybe 25, 50 people coming forward and saying that, okay, I'll give you 5,000, 10,000. Your money is against a property. It's not like you are giving a money to India Home. You're giving a money to purchase a property. So, but of course, legal documents will be done properly so that people will know for sure how it is. If India Home wants to clear the loan in 3 years or 5 years time, then we will we'll make sure like how much interest will be paid also for that period with the money.
So between the 2 projects, I mean, once say you got very good answer that we got like $3 million of grant from is there any requirement for them that we have to, as a community, collect this much in order to even qualify for the grant?
In the application, they did not say any requirement in the application. They wanted to see like we spent enough money like appraisal, and we spent enough due diligence of the property. We did all that planning, architectural rough planning, and all those things we did. We spent about $15,000 for that. But they were the AFI developer, because they developed many housing facilities for Chinese people. They have a lot of experience. So they were asking, we need to, they haven't finalized the number, but they said we need to come up with some amount of money from the community. So we told them, once we know, we didn't get the money yet, 3 million. We applied for 3 million. We don't know how much we'll get. Maybe we may get 2 million or 1 million. By July, we get to know. Then we get a little bit more details about how much we need to invest from the community. We don't know the answer to that yet, but co-living I know for sure, because we are looking either buying a piece of land for about $500,000 or something and constructing a house, or buying a ready-made house for around $1 million. So that we know for sure.
That house would be converted in a co-living facility or what?
Yes, yeah, co-living facility. That will be in, mostly we are, the way we are looking at, one could be a Bengali co-living, one could be a Gujarati co-living, because we want to make sure like the people speak same language, eat same food, and they want to be their friends, right? Have same. In fact, we are in the housing survey, we are even asking them about their hobbies, what they wanted in the, whether they would like to read or do crossword puzzles or go for movies, or they want shopping, and all those different things we are asking. So we try to match people who would be interested in living together.
So that project, you think between the 2, which one would be going first? You do not know.
Oh, the co-living will be done before this year ending. That's for sure. Because we already had almost 120 people finish the survey, and we need to, whoever expressed interest, We need to have another special Zoom meetings with those people because it's only like 6 to 10 people living together, right? And once we finish the co-living, the bigger future for the co-living project is government is also investing into co-living now, investing in the sense giving money for co-living. So we wanted to apply for next year a bigger project co-living from the government also.
So for the co-living project, India Home needs to raise some money, or?
Yeah, we need to raise some money for the co-living project. But we already spoke with 2 of the online companies. One is it's called Lend Donate platform, where not just in our seniors, but anybody can invest into that. It's especially for not-for-profits. And at the same time, there is another company called SMBX, where they sell $10 bonds. So we want to put these projects into those platforms also, so that we can raise money from outside people too.
Okay. Thank you for your.
Yeah.
Yes, Sudarshan bhai.
મારે એક જ 2 ક્વેશ્ચન પૂછવાના છે. એક તો પેલું આ જે 8 અવર કોર્સ કરવાનો છે એનો ફોન નંબર શું છે?
Okay, I think we will obtain it and we will put in our report.
Thank you. Another question is, everything looks very nice on the paper, but when you go and apply, it does not come true. So my basic question is that what is the credit required to apply this? Because everything that I go to bank, everywhere they say, okay, take this, take car, this, house, but what is your credit? Without credit, nobody will give the money. So what is the minimum credit required to apply? Because when I apply, do everything, and then, oh, sorry, your credit is very, very less. So before applying, yeah, this is a, wherever you go to apply for the loan, the credit report is a must.
Of course, that is a must.
And the minimum credit is there.
Right. હવે તમે પેલા કોર્સને માટેનું તમે એપ્લાય કરતા હો તો એના માટે ફર્સ્ટ ઓફ ઓલ યુ હેવ ટુ મીટ ધ ઇન્કમ રિક્વાયરમેન્ટ કે ચલો ભાઈ અમુક ઇન્કમ વધારે પડતી હોય then you don't qualify even though you take the course. એટલે પહેલા તો ક્રાઇટેરિયા એ થશે.
And the government course has, you're right, sir, Sudarshan ji. In the course itself, Chaya CDC organizes these courses. They have the credit requirement for the people. Even if they are, just because they are poor, not everybody is, government is not giving the grant to everybody. They have to have credit requirement.
And what is the minimum credit required?
If I remember correctly, it's about 620, sir. But the course, they will have 8-hour course. So they develop, they actually explain all these things. If somebody has 600 as a credit score, if they want to improve 620, how can they improve? And all those things they tell them also. Because it's a whole day course. Literally from morning to evening, they have to sit and complete like a educational course.
Okay.
Anybody else has any question?
I got one question from one of our members. They want to know that if they want to buy the house in both the name, husband and wife, then they both have to go for the course? Or only one can go for the course, 8-hour course?
I think both of them have to go for the course, sir.
Okay, and in that case, they will get...
You can call Chaya CDC, because they are the ones who are organizing this course for the community. They would exactly tell who, if somebody buys it on a husband name or wife name, maybe that particular person has to, but they will confirm that.
But we will give that number in our report, so that I think more technical question or detailed question can be asked to that organization.
I think I got that number in chat too.
Yeah, okay.
And the course will be in English because they don't know much English.
They will also organize the course in other languages, sir, like Hindi and Bengali and
okay.
Because in English, there are many organizations who are doing Chaya CDC, not only in English, but in Indian languages also.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else has any question? Then I think is on a housing survey, you will like to just go over some main questions or anything?
Yeah, we can, Mukundbhai, we can share the housing survey form. So then it's a quick form. So
Yeah, just give an overview of it. Yeah.
correct. So I will actually fill it up. Oh, Sharanya, you'll have to, because you are sharing it. So if you can show, to pehla to, and mainly the most important thing, a survey fill up etle karwani છે because જેટલી વધારે સર્વે ને જેટલી વધારે ડિમાન્ડ આપણે બતાવીએ તો જ્યારે when we go to government, we as a collective, our community, આપણે દેખાડી શકીએ કે આપણી જરૂરિયાત કેટલી છે. સો જેટલી વધારે આપણે આ સર્વે ફોર્મ ભરે એટલું વધારે આપણા માટે સારું છે. સો I highly recommend બધાને કે આ સર્વે તમે ભલે તમને એમ લાગે અત્યારે નથી જરૂર. મારું તો એવું મંતવ્ય છે કે soon અમે લોકો બધા સિનિયર થવાના છે. So I think for our future generation also, something for our community, if we start something like this co-living and co-housing project, તો long term માં આપણને બધાને જ ફાયદો છે. So I think
એક મિનિટ કવિતા જી, since Dr. K has to resume her duty, as you know that she was speaking from hospital, she took a little time off from the hospital, and that's why she was in a hospital setting. So Dr. K, thank you very much for your time, and it's a really interesting, and this is an innovative concept which I don't know whether any other organization has undertaken, but you have taken quite time to study, being a physician, and explain very well. Now there are about 125 plus Zoom entry. That means about 200 people are watching your program. So thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. We all
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, bye.
Bye. Okay, Kavita ji.
Bas. Sharanya, can you share the screen? So Sharanya, we will show them. We'll actually, you'll have to fill up the form actually. So pehla to basically it's just a, you know, we are saying that we are taking this survey, and a survey nu badu result only India home simit જ રહેશે, કોઈની સાથે share નહીં. એટલે you have to say you agree, and then we can click the next button. And આમાં just basic question જ છે. So Shania, we can just fill up the last name. Cha, you can fill up first name. અને તમારી age, phone number લખવાનું. 825, yes, that's good. તમારું email address લખવાનું. પછી તમારું country of origin. So this is basically it gives us, so we can put people from same background together. So that's the reason we are having all these information. The next is just to get, are you American citizen or green card holder? Okay. What is your native language? તમે બીજી કઈ language બોલો છો? પછી તમારું dietary preference, તમારું gender, પછી what is your annual income, what is your current insurance. So we just getting some of the basic insurance information. Okay. Which of the following is best describe your current housing situation. So whatever applies to you, you can write that. Okay. How many people do you currently have living with you? Okay, so આજે છે ને, so this question lot of people બધાને question હોય છે કે અમે ઘર અમારું paid off થઈ ગયું છે, તો અમારા પાસે કશું expense નથી, તો what should we put? So basically, even if it's paid off, you do incur your utility expenses and things like that. So accordingly, you can, there is another question I had got from one of the senior ke emna છોકરાઓ સાથે રહે છે, so they don't have this expense. So currently under 500 એ લોકો choose કરે તો ચાલે. But mainly we want to capture this, so we know કે જે લોકો interested છે, say for example in co-living, when people are interested in co-living, તો એ લોકો અત્યારે currently કેટલું pay કરે છે. So we can anticipate કે when we actually rent out rooms, what people can afford. So that's one reason. So do you anticipate moving out? So where you can no answer ke tame 1 year માં 2 થી 5 વર્ષ એટલે future માં be not sure. So there you go. It's pretty straightforward questions. And તમારે move out થાવ તો તમારે buy કરવું છે કે rent કરવું છે તો એ preference લખવાનું છે. અને again if તમે rent કે buy કરવાના છો, under how much are you willing to pay? This is also a very important question. So that way we can gauge towards pricing when we are going to price co-living new apartment. So this will help us. Okay. Then aaj Dr. K kehta tha, so these are different options. Co-living is, so it's basically explain કરે છે કે co-living એટલે શું. એટલે તમે co-living માં 5-6 લોકો સાથે એક ઘરમાં where common facility use કરે, but they have their own separate rooms. So આમાંથી જે choice છે you can choose. એટલે તમારે yes, you would consider, or if you don't want to, then you'll say no, I do not consider. But if you say yes, okay. અને પછી yes કહો તો there are more option કે co-living માં તમને બીજું શું જોઈએ છે, cooking માં help, cleaning માં help. So those are some of the questions you can answer. Okay. અને the other project that Dr. K કીધું એ co-housing નો project છે, જેમાં જે હમણાં લોન 3 મિલિયનની જે એમને પ્લોટ જોયો છે અને ગવર્મેન્ટ પાસેથી લોન લઈ રહ્યા છે, એ co-housing માટે ના પ્રોજેક્ટ માટે એમણે અપ્લાય કર્યું છે. So અને આના માટે બી you have to choose if you are interested. So એના બધા different option છે કે તમારે ખાલી ઇન્વેસ્ટિંગ કરવું છે or you want to purchase. So these are all the different, you just choose one option what you are interested in. And then next preference, this is where uncle kehta tha ne ke NASA ma ne, so this is, we just want to gather that information ke apni community ma kaya different location ma people are interested. So we get an idea. And of course આ બધું એક વસ્તુથી ચાલુ થશે. પહેલા co-living, as Dr. K કીધું કે co-living નું ઘરથી પહેલા ચાલુ કરશું. અને જુલાઈમાં જ્યારે આ ગ્રાન્ટ માટે અપ્લાય કર્યું છે, જો એ co-housing માટે ગ્રાન્ટ મળે તો સાયમલ્ટેનિયસલી એનું પણ અમારેથી શરૂ કરાશે. So you can write Queens and future resident, અને આ તમને અત્યારે ક્યાં રહો છો અને ફ્યુચરમાં ક્યાં. Okay. Physical assistance requirement, so definitely આમાં તમને કઈ જરૂરિયાત હોય તો if you need assistance, I'm on long-term care, so all different options છે. એમાં તમને જે લાગુ લાગે એ તમે choose કરીને you can click that. Okay, and now this is where to know people which are similar interest, to put them together. These are different in here. જ્યાં બી square હશે ત્યાં you can choose more than one options. અને જ્યાં circle હોય, it's one option you have to choose. Okay. Sharanya knows what I'm interested in.
You can, whatever you want to write as your interest, you can put it there.
By the way, Sharanya types so fast.
Yes.
She's like a bullet train.
Oh. Yes, you are absolutely right. When it comes to typing, and she can turn around grants in like no time.
Oh. Thank you.
So next one, do you have any New York County neighborhood preference? So yeah, Kew Garden, look, right. You can put NASA, anything, everything. જેટલી પણ information તમે વધારે મૂકશો એટલું વધારે સારું. So we can get વધારે information is better for us,
Yeah, I think NYC is the preference here, but whatever additional information you have.
You can even put NASA, okay? કારણ કે જો આપણે એક project થી ચાલુ કરશે and as it gets successful, that's how we can grow and do more. Okay, so some features that you, Shania, you can put what you would like close to restaurants, like that, Is there any other information you would like to share with us regarding your housing requirement and needs? We need someone to clean and cook. Okay. And that's it. You submit. So please, Jitla ane Sharanya, did you share it in the chat? Mukunji, tame housing nu form pachi share karase tamare group ma. So
અમે already 2 વખત મોકલી આપ્યું છે.
Okay, so please બધા જેટલું બને એટલું તમે આ housing નું survey submit કરશો એટલી વધારે આપણને information મળશે, તો we can definitely take this project to next level.
અને આ હાઉસિંગ સર્વે નો તમે ફિલ અપ કરશે, not necessarily કે it's a binding to you, but this shows your interest. અને જેટલો આપણે વધારે પ્રમાણમાં આવા હાઉસિંગ સર્વે ના ફોર્મ ગવર્નમેન્ટ ને આપશું તો ગવર્નમેન્ટ ને લાગશે કે this is some responsible community અને they are taking real interest. બાકી 5-10 જ આપણે સર્વે રજૂ કરીએ તો સમજે કે લોકોને ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ નથી, એમ ગવર્નમેન્ટ સમજે અને ગવર્નમેન્ટ will not proceed further on that one. So higher the number, better for the community to get some response from the government. So please fill it out. It is not binding to you and there is a fully anonymity કારણ કે એ જાય છે સીધું ઇન્ડિયા હોમના ડેટાબેઝમાં. ઇન્ડો અમેરિકન ને આ બાબતમાં કઈ લેવા દેવા નથી કે કઈ ઇન્ફોર્મેશન જોતી પણ નથી અને અમને મળશે પણ નહીં. એના ટેબ્યુલેશન બધું ઇન્ડિયા હોમના ટેકનિકલ ડિપાર્ટમેન્ટમાં થઈ જશે, એટલે તમારી આઈડેન્ટિટી કઈ એમાં આવવાની નથી. એટલે પ્લીઝ ફિલ આઉટ ધ ફોર્મ. Once again, along with this meetings report, we'll be sending this questionnaire. So please fill it out. Yes, Ashok bhai.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Good morning. મારે એટલું જ કહેવાનું કે સંસ્થાનું સુકાન તો બે વિદ્વાનોના હાથમાં છે, એટલે મારે કઈ કહેવાનું રહેતું નથી. પણ જ્યારે
બે વિદ્વાનો ડોક્ટર કે અને કવિતા and Sharanya
અને મુકુંદભાઈ obviously you are the leader anyway. હું એમ કહેવામાં can I speak in Gujarati, right?
Sure.
Hope everybody will understand. મારું એટલું જ કહેવાનું છે કે કો લિવિંગ હોય કે કો હાઉસિંગ હોય એના માટે ફેડરલ અને સ્ટેટના રિસોર્સિસ થી તો બધા માહિત છે કે કઈ રીતે આપણે ફેડરલ અને સ્ટેટમાંથી લઈ શકીએ ફંડિંગ. તદુપરાંત મારું એવું સજેશન છે કે ન્યુયોર્કમાં આપણી 3 ઇન્ડિયન બેંકો છે, બેંક ઓફ ઇન્ડિયા, બેંક ઓફ બરોડા અને સ્ટેટ બેંક ઓફ ઇન્ડિયા, અને એ લોકોના પણ આ સોશિયલ અપલિફમેન્ટ અને કોમ્યુનિટી હેલ્થના બજેટ હોય છે. હવે એ બજેટમાં 2 રિસોર્સિસ છે કે કાં તો તમને 20% ઓફ ધ ટોટલ એલોકેશન ઓફ ધ બજેટ તમને આઉટરાઇટ ડોનેશન્સ તરીકે મળી શકે, અથવા તો ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ ફ્રી લોન જોઈતી હોય કે જે પાર્ટિસિપન્ટે શેર કરવાનું રહે કે કો લિવિંગ માટે અથવા કો હાઉસિંગ માટે, તો એના માટે પાર્ટિસિપન્ટ પાસે ફાઇનાન્શિયલ રિસોર્સિસ સફિશિયન્ટ ના હોય તો ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ ફ્રી લોન પણ મળી શકે. અને બીજી વસ્તુ કે બીજા પણ ઘણા રિસોર્સિસ એ લોકો પાસે હોય છે, ત્યારે જ્યારે પણ આવી આપણને જરૂરિયાત ઉપસ્થિત થાય ત્યારે આપણે આ 3 બેંકોના સીઓ સાથે એક કોન્સોર્ટિયમ કરી શકીએ અને કોન્સોર્ટિયમમાં we can do a very nice presentation with all facts and figures, and I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that we will definitely succeed. That's all I wanted to share. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ashok bhai. This is of a great help, and this aspect was not covered, so you just filled up the gap on that one. So really, thank you very much. કે ચલો ભાઈ ભવિષ્યમાં આ પ્રમાણે કરવું હોય તો bank has also some social responsibility and they are having some funds for that one. So Ashok bhai, thank you very much, and you have been helpful to us through Bank of Baroda. That as you know that you made benefactor for the whole Silver Jubilee celebration. So thank you very much.
મારા માટે આનંદ અને સદભાગ્ય છે, આવી સેવાનો મોકો મળ્યો છે. Thank you.
પાછો હજી લેશું હજી તો.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else has any question on survey or housing or anything? We have about few minutes left.
ડોક્ટર સરોજે હાથ ઊંચો કર્યો છે એમને.
Unmute કરજો.
Kavita, I wanted to thank you for giving a nice સંસ્કૃતમાં એકદમ સમરાઈઝ કર્યું, એ બહુ સારું કર્યું. બટ અને તું ગુજરાતી ઘણું સારું બોલે છે એટલે પણ એક મને ક્વેશ્ચન પૂછવો હતો કે I have been approached by some of the people. They do not have the internet or access to email. How do we get them the forms that we need to fill it out?
Okay.
They can give the phone numbers. So if you can,
I can call them and who emna behalf ma I can fill up the form for them.
Oh, great. Okay. So call me afterwards.
Yes, I'll call you. Yes, and I can fill up the form. એવું તો મેં અમારા ઘણા સિનિયરો માટે મેં કોલ કરીને એ લોકોને હેલ્પ કર્યું છે.
Absolutely fantastic. Okay.
Kavita is very helpful, very helpful.
Yeah.
ના અને આગળ હેમંત અંકલ કહેતા હતા ને, I would like him to join our programs. Uncle, everybody, our programs are open to everybody. There is no restriction for having a Medicaid, So
and each of our report contains one section for Kavita's number and everything. So you can just find out, you can refer to any of our weekly reports and you will find one particular paragraph for Kavita's information. So feel free to give a call to her. Yes, Sunil Shah. By the way, Dr. Sunil Shah is a retired ENT surgeon.
Hello.
Is this program only for New York people or all
ના,
states?
હમણાં Zoom માં અંકલ બધા અમારે લોકો શિકાગો, ફ્લોરિડા, ઇન્ડિયા બધેથી, બાંગ્લાદેશથી પણ. So અંકલ, you are welcome. અને especially અમે ખુલશે પછી પણ Zoom બંધ નથી કરવાના. Because અમારે ઘણા લોકો અને અંકલ હેમંત અંકલે પહેલા કીધું હતું ને કે એમને ટ્રાન્સપોર્ટેશન મળે કે નહીં. સો અગેન જે અમે પેલા મેડિકેડ સપોર્ટેડ ઓર્ગેનાઇઝેશન નથી, એટલે અમારે પાસે ગાડીઓ નથી. દેટ બધા સિનિયર, અમારા ઘણા સિનિયર અહીંયા ઓલરેડી છે, એ લોકો પોતાની મેળે ઇધર બસ કે ટ્રેનમાં આવે છે અમારા સેન્ટરોમાં અને અમે લોકો બધી એક્ટિવિટીઝ કરીએ છીએ. એટલે અને ઝૂમ એક્ટિવિટી અમે કન્ટિન્યુ કરવાના છે ઇવન આફ્ટર સેન્ટર ઓપન્સ. સો એવરીબડી ઇઝ વેલકમ. ઇવન I had one auntie, એ છે ને મોરિશિયસ રહે છે અને અહીંયા ખાલી સમરમાં એની ડોટરને મળવા આવે છે ક્યુ ગાર્ડનમાં. એમનો મને કોલ આવ્યો હતો, કવિતા તારા પ્રોગ્રામ થાય છે, because even when she comes to New York, she comes to our program in Kew Garden. So it's open to even people who are visiting from India. It's free, nothing, no question asked. Just તમારું age and your phone number and your address.
Can you please send us this form on the email?
સર્વે
Yes.
ને અશોકભાઈ,
Survey.
આપણે છેલ્લા 2 વખતથી મોકલી છે, આ વખતના રિપોર્ટમાં પણ પાછા આપણે ઇન્ક્લુડ કરશું એની લિંક.
Am I a link? અચ્છા, link માંથી
લિંકમાંથી ક્લિક કરશો એટલે આવી જશે.
Thank you. Okay.
અચ્છા, હવે બીજા કોઈને ક્વેશ્ચન છે ખરા? નથી લાગતા?
Yes.
Okay, so Kavitaji, thank you very much કે તમે ગુજરાતીમાં ઘણું સરસ રીતે એક્સપ્લેન કર્યું છે. અને now you might be bombarded and people will be
Yes,
looking
and I
into
want more people to join. હવે અમે 1000 લોકોની capacity લીધી છે અમારા Zoom માં. So I want to have representation like yours. You get 400, 500 people. I envy you guys. So
really thank you. Thank you very much.
Next.
Thank you, everyone.
And now before the 12 o'clock, we have a few minutes. So Pankaj Bhai, you have some future programs or announcement you can cover up till 12 o'clock.
Okay. આપણે આમ તો વિચારેલું કે વચ્ચે કોઈક નાની વિડીયો ક્લિપ્સ પણ બતાવીશું, પરંતુ હવે મ્યુઝિક પ્રોગ્રામનો સમય થવા આવ્યો છે એટલે આપણે થોડીક માહિતી 1-2 કાર્યક્રમોની આપી દઈએ. તમે બધા જાણો છો કે આપણી હૌસી જે આપણે સતત